Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Labyrinth of Limitations. I thought it would be fun for a few little labyrinths to talk about simple moves again, small moves. Won't always seem simple, but we're going for small moves. And over Night in Tunisia. Because Night in Tunisia, it does that repetition of E flat 7 to D minor 6, E flat 7 to D minor 6, E flat 7 to D minor 6, and then E minor 7th flat 5, which I always want to call half diminished 7th because that's how I learned it, otherwise known as G minor 6, which is really what I always want to call it these days. And then A dominant 7th, or A, I did the tritones minor, but I'll just go. So that is dominant E half diminished 7th, otherwise known as G minor 6, and then A7 or A dominant 7 flat 5, and it goes on. So we're going to look at doing that, but we're going to think of E flat 7 as E full diminished, because that expresses it, and that would be like an octatonic. So that's octatonic stuff. So that's octatonic stuff. But we're just going to do not the octatonic, but instead E full diminished 7th to D minor 6 to E full diminished 7th. So in other words, the D minor 6 diminished scale. So for the first 6 bars of this song, you can think of that one scale if you want to. Keep it really simple for yourself, and we do because we're going to study little moves. We're going to start with thirds. So what I mean is this: I'm going to take thirds and practice them in D minor 6. Sorry. And then, I got to move out. Because I ran out of space on the guitar. All up and down the neck. Sorry. And so on. But just thirds. And then what we're going to do is, whenever it is E flat 7 on the chart, so for bar 1 and 3 and 5, you're going to play the off notes as your accent points, as your main things. So you're going to treat them like they're on. So you're going to go, or just, and then when I go to D minor 6, so it's da 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 da. We got to go to G minor 6, and then A7 or A dominant 7th flat 5, which I like there a lot. That's what we'll do. Okay, so when I get to the G minor 6, I'm going to for starters, I want to go from the on chord of G minor 6 to A7. But we'll talk about that in a second. So let's go diminished. And I'll go diminished, so I'm skipping down a third with my thirds. I play E and G, C sharp and E, kind of surrounding D minor 6. So I'll go, and then you can do, and then you got to do the G minor 6, and then like that. So I did G minor 6, a third, and then I found the nearby G and A, which is A7, so I'm seeing how to move between those and D minor 6. And then I can go diminished, and then so on, right? And then I gotta find thirds, like that. I guess I did have that third there I could have done. instead of that. I wasn't thinking straight. So those are just thirds. So now we could do something like, what about, and then, so all I'm doing there is I'm thinking off, on, off, on, off, on, off, on. And now it's time for G minor 6. And then, so, and then resolving. Go to fifths or stay with the thirds. Okay, so that's the idea. What we could add. I could reverse that. I could go, whoops. Right? And then, whoops. What is it? I guess I was there. And then G minor 6, and then A7, and then I can go like, if I want to stay thirds, or I could go, like that. If I want to break it into a fifth, which is fine, you can break the rules. We're just doing it as it's kind of an exercise though, to familiarize yourselves. And so just talking about that G minor 6, first off, if I do A dominant 7 flat 5, which is what I'm thinking, then when I get to A dominant 7 flat 5, so I went, see, I can do that move. This is A dominant 7 flat 5, one of the shapes, and there's only going to be one of the shape because it's second order symmetry is what I call it. So you got G minor 6 to this. Well, here's another G minor 6, and then this one is going to be on these strings. It's either this shape or this shape. So it'll be this one. Sorry, that was wrong. No, that was right. And then do I have space for another one? I don't. I have to go down here. So in other words, it is a third or it is a major second. Third or a major second. So I can go on. I'll stay in G minor 6 for a little bit of movement. I'll go, and then like that's a, sorry. So that would be the ending where you go like that's a, I don't know. So anyway, that would be a thing. Okay, so so that's a way of doing it, but also, as I talked about in a recent episode, you can go on, off, this is G minor 6, on, off, this diminished, I'm going to move down by half step, so I can do it here, and then also, so that was the thing I talked about recently, how the diminished connect between those G minor 6 and A dominant 7 flat 5 in this case. The diminished is a half step up. The diminished for G minor 6 is a half step up. So I go down, I just move that diminished, whatever the diminished shape is, I move it down. If it were a full chord, so it were like, right? So like that. So I go, that would be fuller chords. That's the way that works. So this is just kind of to get things started. In the next, I'm going to look at thirds moving out to triads over the same thing. But hopefully this gives you something to follow along with and kind of start to learn these shapes. Thanks for watching and more to come.